Hey everybody, welcome back to my unprocessed life. I am headed out to the farmer's market today, and apparently early in the morning on a Saturday for me equals about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It's I don't know, it's just so nice to hang out with the family and not do anything sometimes that it's hard for me to get up and just go do stuff right away rather than hang out with them and make breakfast and just have fun. So that's what I did. I got up this morning and started to make some green juice, and then finished the green juice up and decided to go ahead and make some hash browns this morning. And actually we did it a pretty easy way. It's you know, a lot of times when you do hash browns, if you think about the traditional hash browns, you know, you take the grated potatoes and you put them in a skillet and you fry them, and that's not what we did. What we did was we shredded the potatoes and then we baked them in the oven at like 425 degrees for 20 minutes. We flipped them halfway through. So we had pretty much unprocessed organic potatoes, and then we also sliced up some tomatoes and some mushrooms, some garlic, and some spinach, and mixed that all up into it and kind of had a hash brown hash, if you will, for lunch. And that's what I've had so far today. Now I'm headed into town to go to the farmer's market. Since I'm going out of town, since I'm going to Nashville, not tomorrow, but on Monday, I'm not going to get as much produce this week as I did last week, because I know that Jana and Dylan aren't going to eat as much. So instead of getting a couple cases of mangoes and a couple cases of this, that, or the other thing, I'm going to try to limit it a little bit. I'm still going to look for some cucumbers, because you can never go wrong with cucumbers, in my opinion. And I'm still going to, I'm not going to get tomatoes this time, because we still have well over half a case of tomatoes. So I'm not going to worry about the tomatoes this go around. So probably just mangoes and any other fruit that I see that might be a decent deal. I don't know what we're going to find, because you never know with the farmers markets. So there you go. Last night when I got home, I ate some of my son's vegan pizza, a lot of it actually, and it showed up on the scales this morning. I gained like 2.5 pounds. So definitely not the way to go. And I've been watching some stuff this morning in regards to low fat, high fat, low carb, high carb, and so forth. And I can just tell you this: there is so much damn information out there on the internet that it is easy to be confused about what the hell is going on. And, you know, does this cause cancer? Does this not cause cancer? Does this make you fat? Does it not make you fat? Can you lose weight here? Can you not lose weight there? And then there's study after study after study, and then there's opinion after opinion after opinion, and there's antidote after antidote after antidote. And really, analysis paralysis is what it is. You go out there and you try to figure out what's going on, and you try to see what you know, what you need to see, and learn what you need to learn, and it just, you're like, I don't even know anymore. There's so much information from so many different sources, and what do I do, and you know, does this work, does this not work? Is low carb best? Is high carb best? Is low fat best? Is high fat best? Is moderation best? Are all things in moderation? There's another antidote for you. It's crazy, you know. And who do you listen to? And I guess it comes down to what fits best and works best for you. I think there are a couple overriding factors that, as long as you stay within that framework, things are probably going to work out for you once you figure out what works best for you. There's really no argument that a whole foods, plant-based lifestyle is the healthiest. There doesn't even seem to be any argument amongst scientists or amongst doctors that even though you can get the things that you need, some of the things that you need, or actually it's not even true, even though you can subsist on animal-based things, you can't thrive as well as you can on a plant-based diet, from what I can tell. It's crazy. It really is. So, plant-based, whole foods, as little processed as possible, you know, no additional stuff, no prepackaged stuff, as much as possible. And I think that's about as healthy as you can be. I can definitely empathize with people who are trying to figure out what the hell to do out there. You know you want to heal your body. You know you want to be healthy. You know you want to do what's right. And you know that there's a lot of these things that it doesn't seem to be easy. And it really shouldn't be hard. It should be pretty easy. And so I think that's why sometimes it's easy to break things down to antidotes for us. And I think it's easy to try to figure out just simplicity that works and not worry about the other pieces of it. Because if I can think to myself, all right, as long as I'm eating whole food, plant-based things, I'm going to be fine. I'm going to get to the goals I want to get to. Then mentally, it's an easier thing for me to do than it is to think about, okay, I've got to get all of my RDA stuff. I've got to make sure that I'm eating this and I'm eating this and I'm eating this and I've got all these things. And, you know, if it's going to be that hard to do, then you're just not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm way too lazy for that most of the time. But I've got to make changes. I've got to do things differently because the things that I've been doing for, you know, my entire life have not worked out well. So there you go. There you go. I guess this video kind of seems confusing, or it makes it seem like I'm confused. That's not really true. What it is that it's just when you start watching a lot of videos and information and so forth, it can cloud what your mind was set on. If you were set on a path and you're like, okay, I think that this is the best way to go. I think Dr. McDougall's starch solution is the way to go, and you're trying to make some gains that way, and then somebody grabs your attention and pulls it this direction, and you're like, oh, well, maybe that's not, maybe I'm wrong here, you know. Or if you're, you know, going the 80-10-10 route, and then somebody grabs your attention, it's like, so you never have a chance to really, you know, focus on any one thing other, you know, because there are good points on all of those sides. You know, it makes sense here. It makes sense here. It makes, you know, and you're in, you know, the Engine 2 diet, and then there's just so much information out there that it's hard to stay focused when there's a lot of shiny objects out there. So I think boiling it down to simplicity helps sometimes. And so I think simplicity for me is as much unprocessed food as I can, plant-based, whole foods, you know, based on things like the China study and so forth, will be helpful. And, you know, if not, then I guess I'll have to change my philosophy, you know, at some point. But for now, I'm going to stay on the philosophy I've got. Hope that it works out well, because I think that it will. I've seen it help a lot of people, so, well, I guess we'll give it a shot. Right? Okay. So, off to the farmer's market, and after that, I'm going to the Thai food festival because my mother-in-law and wife want to go and see what's there, and hopefully there'll be some things that we can go after. I think I had already mentioned that on my trip next week, I intend to try to stay low-fat, plant-based vegan, not focusing so much on the raw piece of it, but I'm feeling better about. I'm feeling out my plan as far as what I want to do more long term. You know, I've tried the raw food thing for about 3 weeks now, and it's been good. I've been feeling really good, and I've had a whole lot more energy, really. So that's good. And so I don't think I really want to get rid of the green juices. I really like the green juices a lot, and I feel good eating them or drinking them. They're starting to be more palatable for me. And I really don't want to get rid of a lot of the raw food. I want to eat a lot of the raw food. And I still want to stay on the raw foods and kind of go that route. And then maybe some cooked foods for dinner. Maybe, you know, like some cauliflower bites or something like that. I don't know. We'll have to see how it pans out. I'm going to do a lot of thinking this next week while I'm in Nashville. And I'm going to see how I feel, especially kind of changing the diet up a little bit after the last few weeks. You know, if I'm falling asleep all the time and feel like I'm, you know, having a hard time digesting food and all that kind of stuff, then I may just not even, you know, think twice. I may just go back to just going full on raw and letting the chips fall where they may, because I felt better doing it. So we'll just have to see. Although I did really enjoy the hash browns this morning a lot, and they didn't seem to make me overtly tired or anything like that. And maybe that's because maybe the difference is that I prepared the food myself, and I know what I've put in them and what I haven't put in them, and I don't have to worry about there being too much salt or too much oil or those kinds of things. So I guess we'll just have to see. It's an experiment moving forward, and that's why I called it My Unprocessed Life, because it's my life, and as I unprocess it and I try to figure out what I'm doing, I wanted you to be able to come along on the journey. And I wanted you to see my struggles as well as my successes. I wanted you to see my failures, because I don't think it's fair to just show you just this little slice of what's going on, and it's all positive and oh well, you know, I figured it out and so forth. Clearly I haven't figured it out yet, and I want you to be able to see that, because I know that if you're like me and you're trying to figure out what you want to do, you know, or how to accomplish the goals you want, which, I mean, for all of us that are overweight, we want to be fit again. You know, we might say we don't care, but we do. We may not care as much as other people do. We probably don't care because we are fat, and because we have all this extra weight, you know, and it's easier to say we don't care and try to blow it off than it is to face the reality of the fact that, you know, we don't like who we are and what we've become, and how, you know, we've eaten ourselves into this position. You know, and it's not all about the food. A lot of it's about emotional issues and things along those lines too. But that's why I'm not tempering this particular video, because I want you to be able to see that I have struggles too. I have strong feelings and dogmas, if you will, about plant-based diets and how to become healthy and how it can help. But that doesn't mean that I don't struggle too, and it doesn't mean that any of those people out there that you see don't struggle. You know, you listen to all of them and you see this little slice of their lives in the videos that, you know, oh well, you know, eating raw food and it's the greatest thing ever and so forth. And I'm sure they feel that way. I feel that the plant-based, you know, diets and lifestyles make me feel, you know, really good. But there are a lot of times where, you know, I'm struggling too, and there's a lot of times where they struggle too, and that's something that you should remember, is that none of us are infallible and none of us are perfect, and for all of us it's just a journey. We're all on this journey, and for some people certain pieces of the journey are easier than others, and for some people the journey's easier than it is for others, and that's a reality of life. And, you know, the things that you're good at other people aren't, and the things that other people are good at you're probably not. And you know, I remember when I was in one of the classes, I think it was a Cubby class, or it might have been a How to Win Friends and Influence People class. I don't remember which one it was, but one of them, they said, you know, I heard somebody say something to the effect of, whenever you meet someone, realize that you are superior to them in some way, but they are also superior to you in some way. And that's something to be respected. And so we should do that with each other in all ways. Yeah, there are some people that are far superior to me in regards to their athletic prowess and the way their body's built and so forth, and I'm superior to them in some of my traits as well, my thought processes and my viewpoints and perspectives. Sure, absolutely. So I guess what I'm getting at is that if there's anything that you can get from the videos that I put out, I hope it's this. I hope it's that you realize that this life is a journey, and it's not a destination. And if there is a destination, it is the journey itself, which seems really weird, but you have to realize you've arrived. You are where you are going to be, and there's always going to be struggle, and there's always going to be challenge on that journey, because you always have to put one foot in front of the other. There's more of those antidotes. You've always got to keep moving forward, whether that's through a really tough time or a really easy time. You've never arrived. We've never arrived. We always continue to learn. We always have to continue to strive in one form or another. And even when you think you've made it, you haven't, because it's not that simple. The journey is the destination. Embrace the journey, embrace the destination, because that's where you're at. That's where you'll always be, is on the journey. And becoming comfortable with that is tough. Change is tough. It's hard because it's not comfortable, but there's no way to grow, and there's no way to become the human being you need to become without that change, without that growth, and without that journey. I hope more than anything else, that's what you get out of my videos, the videos that I make, is to be comfortable with your journey no matter where you're at in that process, and to realize that we all make mistakes, we all have problems, we all screw up, and we all do great things, and we all have greatness within us, and it's a matter of trying to strive for that greatness every minute that you can, and knowing that you're going to fall short. Kind of like, and I may have quoted it before, but it's one of my favorite quotes of all time. I'm going to paraphrase it. It's by the football coach, Vince Lombardi. He said, "Gentlemen, perfection is unattainable. However, by chasing perfection, we can catch excellence." And that is so powerful, because it's a matter of chasing perfection and catching excellence. Knowing that we're never going to be perfect, but striving to be perfect is so important, because that's when we catch the best of who we can be, and the best of who we can be to others, and the way that we can help others become the best that they can be. Thank you for joining me on my unprocessed life. It's important to me to make sure that I thank you for that, because I know how important your time is to you. And I love spending time with you, and I hope you enjoy spending time with me. I'm sure I'll touch base with you again soon. I love you all. Thank you for spending time with me. So, just finishing up at the farmer's market, and we had a pretty successful go of it. Yep, that's right. We got 2 boxes of oranges. They weren't quite full cases, but we got 2 boxes of them, and then, which would really be about the size of 1 full case. And they were, they were discounted pretty good to $6 a box. Can't really beat that. So then, what was next? Then I got a case of mangoes for $9, and I got a mixed fruit box for $4, which had a bunch of apples in it, and then a couple extra oranges and so forth. And then I got 2 bags of grapes, which, grapes right now are like $3.50 a pound. They're really expensive. Now these grapes, again, I got them for juicing rather than eating. They weren't quite the quality that you need for eating, straight up. But for juicing, they are just perfect if they get juiced in the next day or 2 days or something like that. They were marked at $2 a bag, but they gave them to me for $1 a bag. So then I got some collard greens for juicing, and they, instead of being $3 a bundle, they were $2.50 a bundle. So I probably hit everything just about right, where they're getting rid of a number of different pieces of produce and getting ready for some new produce to come in. So I got all of that, 4 boxes worth of stuff, and so $31 total. including tax and everything, because it's a farmer's market. So if you're looking to get out and get some good produce, and there were other good deals too. Those were just the ones I was looking for. I didn't need any more bananas, but they had bunches of bananas for like $1. Like not just one bunch, but a lot of them. They had a case of bananas for $22, which is about the same as what you would get them at Whole Foods. Not the organic ones. The organic ones are 30-something a case there. But, you know, if you're just looking for straight up bananas for smoothies and things like that, not really a bad deal at all. Yeah, so I just thought I would check in, kind of, you know, touch base and let you know, hey, if you go out to the farmers markets and the places where you can buy things by the case, a lot of times you can get a pretty good deal going on, and we did today. And that produce will, some of it will last the entire week, and you know, that's pretty good. I mean, I got a full trunk full of produce for $31. I don't even remember the last time I did that at a grocery store. So check out your farmers markets and see what you can get. There are a lot of farmers markets that are not any better of a deal than what you would get in the grocery store. Some of them are really, some of them are just out there because they know that they can make money. And a lot of times what you'll see is people go to places like where I just came from, which was the Alabama Farmers Market, which is a wholesale place. They have a lot of wholesalers there, Alabama tomato wholesalers and stuff like that. And so there's some folks there that sell by the pallet, and I don't eat enough to buy by the pallet, but you could buy that in bulk like that. And because they have a place like that you can go to, now sometimes you can get much better deals because they've got a lot of produce they have to move. But when it comes to produce, because it spoils so quickly and so forth, you don't have nearly the ability to charge, you know, really high margins. When the produce starts to kind of go, then what happens is you can get better deals, because they've got to get rid of it or they get no profit at all. And so a lot of times you can find that you're going to save money because the wholesalers are just trying to get rid of their produce before they can't get anything for it. And so sometimes you can get some really great deals that way. And so that's what I try to do at the farmers market, and sometimes it works out really, really well for me. And sometimes it doesn't work out as great, but you know, you kind of have to do the best you can because, well, for me anyway, money's tight and I have a family to feed. And when you got a big family to feed, you've got to try to, you know, make the dollar stretch as best you can, and that's hard to do sometimes in a really healthy diet. It can be challenging. So anyway, the farmers market haul was a great success, and I wanted to share it with all of you. So until next time, enjoy yourselves, have a great day, and thank you for hanging out with me and watching my Unprocessed life. And you can find me over at Instagram. I've got pictures of the farmers markets haul over there, myunprocessed.life, or you can hit me up on email at myunprocessedlife@gmail.com. I love y'all. See ya. Hey everybody, welcome back to my uncensored, hey, let's stop.